Last week I spoke about the hop and specifically a repetitive hop for distance. And I received a few questions pertaining to that video. And eventually I will post a video that shows somebody competent demonstrating a repetitive hop for distance. But I'm not that person. And so I have to find somebody to be my example, and nobody that I currently work with really demonstrates it to the level where I can show a distinction between good and bad, or what I'm really looking for. So until I find that subject, I'm just going to try to explain a little bit better what I mean and what I use. So there are different ways to do a hop, and so when I'm talking about a hop, I'm talking about a strict definition of a hop, which is you jump off one leg and land on the same leg, as opposed to a jump, which is a 2-foot landing, or a leap, which is leaving one leg and landing on the other leg. So hop is same leg to same leg. And so the first way and the beginner way and the initial way that I use to teach a hop is simply a hop for distance, where we're going to do one hop at a time. So I hop out, I'm on my right leg, I hop as far as I can, I land on my right leg, and that's the exercise. And then we do a second repetition, a third repetition, however many reps we're going to do, but it's simply one at a time. And it's working as much on the landing as it is the actual hop. So can I land on balance? Can I land, kind of 4 foot down instead of landing fully on my heel? Can I land without shaking or waving? Can I minimize the amount that I have to use my hands for balance? And then once I can land, then we work on extending the distance. And can I hop a little bit further and still maintain that good posture on landing? So that's the initial. For most players, that's the starting point. And especially with young athletes, oftentimes that's going to be the ending point as well, depending on a strength level. But the goal is to move towards a repetitive hop. So instead of landing and each hop being its own separate repetition, now a single repetition is going to be, say, 6 hops in a row. Or usually I will just use the distance to go from sideline to sideline. And we do 1 rep, and it's however many hops it takes. But to me, that's what I'm working towards, and that's the exercise that I look at, for evaluations or for predictions. Because one, it demonstrates a level of strength to be able to do a repetitive hop. It demonstrates balance and coordination. So the athletes who are the best, not necessarily the ones who get the furthest distance, but the ones who have the best movement. Because there are athletes who will get further distance, either because they spend more time on the ground, and so they're able to produce a greater force, or because they're simply bigger, stronger athletes than somebody else, and so they have more muscle to try to create the force and create distance. But I'm looking for one, I shouldn't hear a hard landing, so they should be on their heels first. It should be up on the ball of their foot, their forefoot. 2, I want to see a minimum of time on the ground, so they're able to be elastic, reactive. They hit the ground and really hop right back off the ground. And then 3, I'm looking at the coordination of movements. So the really good athletes at this will use their opposite leg to help drive them forward, and they'll have that counteraction with their upper body. And those are the athletes that eventually, will be able to perform the movement better, will be able to get more distance as they get stronger, as they get more accustomed to the exercise. But they're the ones that have, to me, they're the ones that have that coordination. And, as I said in the previous video, when I see that, typically those are the ones that will be more coordinated when they shoot, more coordinated when they run, more coordinated when they're jumping, more coordinated on layups. It does, from what I've seen, transfer to a number of different activities. And so it might not be that that being able to hop transfers, but it is that somebody who is able to hop with really good technique is also likely to be very good with their coordination of shooting, or their coordination with the layups, or their coordination in other activities. So total body coordination. So hopefully that explains a little bit better. That really what I'm looking for is the repetitive hop for distance, both being able to cover distance in the air, but then also be able to get off the ground quickly. And it's the coordination of the movements, both the stance leg and the non-stance leg, or non-active leg, and the upper body working together to propel the athlete forward, and also to anticipate and then react to the ground quickly, that ultimately leads to a more successful athlete in the repetitive hops. But the starting point then is simply starting one hop at a time, learning the movement, learning how to land correctly, be able to land with balance, and then once there's the athlete's showing a little bit of the strength and balance necessary to do a single hop, then we can start to talk about the repetitive hops and trying to get off the ground quickly. And once we can do that, then we can try to add distance while still getting off the ground quickly. And when we can do that, then we're probably talking about somebody who has decent athleticism and pretty good coordination to do a variety of different activities.